Hello everybody, welcome to another lunchtime stretch. So we're going to concentrate on two key areas today. We're going to focus on the hips and then we're also going to focus on the chest. Two really important areas to look at. Both can get very, very tight and stiff from being sat down all day. So hopefully this little sequence is going to help out. So you're going to need something soft to put under your knee. I've just got a cushion here, but a mat or something that you can just fold up a little bit. Or if you've got some thick carpet wherever you're stretching out, that might be okay. But if you have got something, just grab that now because it's going to make this one a lot more comfortable. So we're going to start with the hips. We're going to start with a dead simple kneeling hip flexor stretch. So come into your lunge position, and what we're going to do, it's all about where your pelvis is. So imagine your pelvis is a bowl. We don't want the bowl tipping forwards like this. We want the bowl level or almost tipping back a little bit. And the way we do that is squeezing the glute and drawing the core in. Now if you do that and then push forward into the stretch, you're going to feel it a lot more on that side. Let me just grab my timer. Keep ourselves honest. Because with stretching, it's all about being patient in the stretch and then also making sure you're doing so with correct form. So we're going to do 30 seconds on each side. Ooh, I can feel that. So it should feel a really nice stretch up the front of the hip. Focus on your posture while you're doing it as well. It's dead easy just to be slumped over. Draw that core in, push the hips forward. So we're going to work through a nice little hip flexor complex. Then we're going to go into some hamstring and hip stuff. And then we're going to finish with some pec work. So switch sides. So this is where you need your mat or something soft to put under your knee. Just makes it a little bit more comfortable. It means you can focus on the stretch rather than being uncomfortable. Really focus on drawing that core in. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to that same hip flexor position. So engage the core, push the hip forward. This time we're going to reach up and over the top of our head a little bit, and you should feel that stretch increasing in intensity. So we're going to do this on each side now. And switch sides. So you might find one side needs a little bit more love and attention than the other. So once you've been through all this, you can always spend a little bit more time on the side that feels a bit tighter. Do an extra circuit through or something like this, but just take your time to follow through. Keep reaching up, feel that stretch. Okay, this time we're going to go slightly to the side, so we're going to bring a little bit of a 3D angle into it. So you want your knee on one side, and your foot, rather than being in line like this, is going to step across, okay? And then we're going to push forward, but also to the side a little bit. So you're just going to tackle that hip flexor from a slightly different angle. Remember, core engaged. Just focus on that nice, smooth stretch. I trained legs yesterday, so this is really nice, this stretch. Really feel myself loosening off. Control your breathing. And then we'll switch. So take your knee pad over to one side, step over to the other, and then fall into that stretch both forward and to the side. Squeeze that glute on the back leg. Core engaged. Nice deep breaths. Okay, so we've got one more hip modification to do on this hip flexor stretch before we move on to the hamstrings. This one's a bit more challenging, so you might need to hold on to something. You're going to come into your normal lunge position. You're then going to grab your foot and pull it up to your bum, and then hold that position. So this is going to bring a little bit more of the quad into the play. So if you do need to hold on to something, not a problem at all. This is the one where you will probably need something soft under the knee. And this one's really mean, but you'll feel good for it. Switch over. So grab that foot, pull it up, get your balance. You'll probably be wobbling a little bit, I know I am. But really pull that heel up. Squeeze your glutes as well, and try and keep the hips nice and level. So I hope you've had a good day so far. Well done for taking a little bit of time out to do some stretching. Not exactly the most glamorous training in the world, but it certainly has its place, especially at the moment. Right, so hip flexors nice and stretched out, so they should be feeling good. We're now going to go into hamstrings. So, again, this is going to be 3 different stretches, but with some slight modifications as we go through. So, first one is just a standard hamstring stretch. So, leg up as straight as you can, and then just pulling back in. So we're going to do that for 30 seconds. Just relax into your mat, take some nice deep breaths. Make sure you're keeping that core engaged as well. Try and keep the other leg straight. You pull your toe back towards you as well, you're going to get a little bit more of a stretch. And switch legs. Obviously, you need to find the stretch that's right for you. So if you've got any concerns, just let that stretch slacken off a little bit. Just start steady, something like this. You don't have to have your legs straight up. Stretching is to help you move better and feel good. It's not to irritate or aggravate any injuries. So just take your time. Okay, so we're going to go back to the other leg. Rather than pulling it straight back, we're going to pull it back to the side a little bit. So my hips are both still on the ground. I'm just going to pull it back, but also to the side a little bit, and you're just going to feel that stretch slightly differently. So my foot is pointing up. If I'm doing my left leg, I'm pointing to sort of 1 o'clock on the clock rather than 12 o'clock. And then back to the other side. So if you're doing your right leg now, you're going to be pointing to 11 o'clock. Control that breathing. Just relax into the stretch. Okay, so staying in this position, we're now going to do a bent leg version. So you're going to hold over your knee and you're going to pull it right over. Okay, so you might even get to the point where you're just using one hand. You're going to try and keep your hips down and your shoulders back. Okay, so this is more kind of the outside, more in the glute. Just relax into that stretch. I think sometimes one of the benefits of stretching is that you just take a few minutes to lie on your back and just chill out and not worry about anything else and just focus on what you're doing. I don't know if it's ever the actual stretch itself or just the action of doing some stretching. So just enjoy it, take your time, pull that other leg across. So hopefully your hips are feeling a little bit looser. You're feeling a little bit more chilled out. We're going to move on to a couple of stretches through the chest and the shoulder to finish off. The first one is going to be in this position, so we'll stay where we are. So what you're going to do is you're going to stretch the left side first. You're going to take the left hand up and overhead, pointing out at about 45 degrees. So you're not straight up or straight out to the side, about 45 degrees. You're then going to take your knees and drop them down to the opposite side. And you should feel that stretch pulling through your shoulder. So let's start the clock. Let's just hang out here and just let that shoulder stretch out. You can see my fingertips are actually off the floor. This is definitely my tighter side. I've always struggled with my overhead mobility, so this is something that I'll probably need to do a little bit more of. This will be one that I'll perhaps revisit after finishing this sequence and spending a bit more time on it. Okay, so bring your feet back to the middle. Stretch your other hand out at 45 degrees. I'm just going to bring myself. And then take your legs to the opposite side and feel that nice stretch through your chest. Nice deep breaths. Okay, so pop yourself up on your feet, give yourself a chance to shake out. Oh, I hope you're feeling loads better. We're going to finish with a doorway stretch. So hand on something, a wall or a doorway. We're going to do 30 seconds on each side. Just turn the hips into the stretch, away from the wall. Keep that shoulder pulled back and you should be feeling it all through here. And hopefully this has been an enjoyable 10-15 minutes out of your day and you feel the benefit of it. A few more seconds and we'll switch sides. Brilliant, and switch. Set that shoulder, feel it across the front of your chest. Keep those glutes squeezed, core engaged. And rest. Job done, guys. Well done. A nice stretch that. Hopefully set you up for the rest of the day. So whatever you're doing, have a lovely day and I'll see you again for one of these soon.